Hello friends, I welcome you all to this YouTube channel. So in this video, we are going to see the second part of how to make a profit and loss statement and balance sheet in a very easy manner and the shortcut. Okay, so I hope everyone has seen the first part of this video. So we are going to just see like it is another one practice question. So we are not going to see anything new or extra in this part. Okay, so it is just going to be a practice question, and there will be another one video coming in the same topic, and then later we'll be moving to how to make a journal, ledger, and trial balance. Okay, so I hope you remember the shortcut which I taught to you in the first class. That is, if something is in the debit side, so then it will go to either assets or expenses. Okay, if uh, I'll make it here. If something is in the expense debit side, it will go to either asset or expense. Then, if something is in the credit side, it will go to either liability or revenue. Okay, so it is the shortcut is CLR and DAE. Okay, so this is the shortcut. Now let's see. Okay, so now I have a list of 23 accounts. Okay, so 23 accounts is nothing but, so just 23 entries are there in the ledger, and those are made into trial balance. Okay, so now, so what we have to do, if something is in debit side, it should go either in the asset or in the expenses. If something is in the credit, it should go to either liability or revenue. Okay, now this capital. Okay, so capital is in credit side, so it should be either a liability or a revenue. Okay, so capital, it will come in liability only. Okay, so it is not the revenue. Second one, cash. So cash is, of course, we all know it is an asset. Of course, it is in debit side, so we will put it in asset side. And then machinery is also an asset. Okay, then purchases. So purchases of 1 lakh is in debit side. So if it is in debit, means it should come on either as an asset or an expense. Okay, so it will be an expenses. Then fifth one, sales. Sales is always a revenue generating activity. Okay, see, sales is in credit side. If something is in credit, it should be a liability or a revenue. Sales is, of course, a revenue generating operation. Sales is a revenue generating activity. So sales, fifth one will come here. Then bank. So there is an entry called a bank, and it is in debit side. So debit means it should either be an asset or an expense. Okay. So bank. So the entry shows 5,50,000. That means, so our amount of 5,50,000 is in bank. Okay. So that is an asset for me. Okay. Something which is in bank is an asset, right? I'm sorry, it's 6. Next one, 7th, advertisement expenses. Okay, in the end, in the name itself, it is showing expenses, and it is in the debit side, so it will be an expense. So advertisement expense, 7th one. Next one, bank loan. So loans, we all know it is an liability. Okay, it is in credit side, so it will come in liability. 9th one, debtors. Okay, so something called a debtors. Okay, it is showing a value of 1,50,000. It is in debit side. Okay, so if it is in debit, it should either be an asset or an expense. Debtors means, so someone who have to pay us money. Okay, for example, so my friend is for my friend Kratos there. So he took like what to say, he got a 10 rupees worth of chocolate from me. Oh, no. Nothing. I just had this. It's like a Bluetooth device. We can use it as a light. So I made it to focus on my face, but it got turned off. Okay, so ninth one, debtors. So debtors are someone who will give us money. Okay, so debtors will be an asset for us. Ninth one. So I made a lot of effort to keep that. I take a tumbler, put it like this, and made it in the laptop. But it unfortunately went power off. 10th one, factory rent. So factory rent, something is in debit side. So rent, we all know it is an expense. So debit. expenses. Okay, so if something is in debit side, it is an expense. So it can be an expense. Okay, so factory rent, 10th one. Then 11th one, equipment. So equipment is an asset for us. 11. 12th one, creditors. So creditors, it is 50,000. So creditors 50,000 is in credit side. So it should be a liability or a revenue. Okay. So creditors means like, so credit means what to say. For example, my friend Varun is having a shop. I went to him. I bought 1,000 rupees worth of products from him, but I didn't give him money. Okay. So that kind of purchase is called credit purchase. Okay. So a purchase where money is not involved or the payment is done in the future. So that kind of transaction is called as credit transaction or credit purchase. Okay. So creditors means I am liable. Okay. So how much amount? 50,000. So it is 12. Rent received. Okay. So I'm receiving amount. Okay. So it is a revenue for me, right? So it is also in credit side. So it is a revenue for me. Rent received 13. Then 14th one, carriage outwards. Okay. So carriage outwards. So what is the meaning? Okay. So let it be. First, see, you don't know what the meaning of that. Okay. No problem. It is in debit side. So debit means it should either be an asset or an expense. Does carriage outwards makes any sense regarding an asset? Okay. So asset, we all know it is something, it's some solid or physical thing. So no, asset can't be defined like that, right? Asset, so assets are something which we own, right? So carriage outwards. So like so carriage outwards, what does it means is, so it is a like what to say? It is something related to logistics. Okay, so movement of a product outside my factory, right? So it is called carriage outwards. Okay, for example, I am having a uh, biscuit manufacturing factory. Okay, so I like what to say? Carriage outwards in the sense, so I am taking the finished biscuits to some retail shop. Okay, so those activities are called as carriage outwards. Okay, so the same thing will come carriage inwards. It is also a logistics activity where the raw materials for the manufacturing, right? So that will come to the factory. Okay, that is called carriage inwards. So both of them are an expense only. Okay, so it is in debit side, so it is an expense. Then 15th one, bills payable. It is in credit side. It is a liability, right? So it should either be a liability or revenue. So bills payable. So I have only to pay the bill. So I am liable. That amount is liable. Okay. So 15th one. Then discount received. Okay. 16th one, discount received. So it is also in credit side. So check either it is a liability or a revenue. So it will be something related to revenue only. Okay. Because discount received means, so some portion of the money I got saved. Okay. So it is a revenue. 16. 17th one, taxes paid. So taxes paid means it's in debit side, it's an expense. Then advertisement expenses in the same name itself, it is there. So we can make it put in the expense column. 19th one, debentures. It is in credit side, 3,25,000. Credit means it's either a liability or a, it is either a liability or a revenue. Okay. So debentures means it's something called as a like similar to bonds. Okay, so it will be like it will notify. So in debentures, it is also a document. So where we will notify the amount and we will say like in certain period we will pay that amount back. Okay, so it is a revenue like what to say. So this debentures 3,25,000 means. So I am having a bond like I made a debenture which gave me 3,25,000. Okay, so it gave me the money. Okay, so it will come in the revenue. Then salaries and wages, of course, it will go in the expenses. Uh, 20, right? 21 bills receivable. Bills receivable. It is in bills receivable in the debit side. Debit means either an asset or an expense. It's not an expense, so it is an asset, right? So bills receivable means I will receive some money. Okay. So 21. Commission received. So it is in credit side. So credit side means it should either be an liability or a revenue. See, commission received. So I received a certain commission. So it is a revenue for me. So 22. Then last one, office rent. So office rent is of course an expense for me. 23. Okay. See. So after this, what we have to do? So I calculated the total expenses, total revenue. Profit is equal to revenue minus expenses. Okay. See, F2. If I subtract the revenue and the expense, I will get 5,40,000 rupees. Okay. So I already mentioned in the first part itself. So whatever the profit or loss, it is always a liability. Okay. So first we have to put this profit and loss statement. So in that we will calculate whether we have got a profit or a loss. Okay. Then whatever the value it may be. Okay. It can either be a profit or a loss. We have to include that as a liability. Okay. So I am including at the last, I am including this profit and loss. So it is 5,40,000. Okay. Now if I add all these things, okay, this three things will be from the table. This four things: capital, bank loan, creditors, and the bills payable. So this four accounts, I'm taking it from the table. This profit and loss. Okay. If I add all these five values, I'll get 11 lakh 65,000. Then the same, if I add all the asset value, I'll get 11 lakh 65,000. Thus, the balance sheet is balanced. Okay. See, the balance sheet will always be balanced only. Okay. So if there is any mismatch of numbers in the assets and liability side, then for sure there is an error in the entry we have made. Okay. So the balance sheet will always be balanced. Okay. So what we have to do? So first, we will be provided with the trial balance showing entries for credit and debit. Okay. So the shortcut for this is so what are the entries in debit side? It will go either in an asset or expense. Then what are the entries in the credit side? It will be either a liability or a revenue. Okay. So at certain cases we will get confused what will be a liability or what will be an asset, but there won't be any confusion whether it is an revenue or an expense. Okay. So revenue means an activity which will give me money. Expense is some activity in which I will spend my money, right? So we can clearly distinguish between revenue and an expense. So for example, if some entry is there in debit side and you don't know what that literally means. Okay. So just to check whether it is an expense or not. Okay. So we all know, for example, something like here, equipment. Okay. So they simply told equipment. So equipment worth 2 lakhs is there. So of course we can say like equipment, machineries, land, buildings, these are all will be included in assets. But in some case, if you get confused, means, so just think whether it will be an expense or not. Okay. So we can clearly identify whether something is an expense or not. So with that, we can put either an expense. If not, we can directly mention in the asset side. Okay. The same for some entry in the same for the entries in the credit side. Okay. So check whether it is a revenue generating activity. If you are sure it is not a revenue, then put it in the liability. If it is a revenue, put in the revenue column. Okay. Then make the total of expense, total of revenue, calculate the profit or loss, and then put the profit or loss in the liability section, because profit or loss is always a liability. Then if we do all those things, the asset and the total assets and total liabilities will be equal. Okay. So here it is 11,65,000. Okay. So thank you. So we will meet in another video. That is a part 3 where we will see a similar kind of question, and then we will go to the next topic. Thank you.